All right, my second time for this. So, I'm not going to speak in regards to the ice storms in Texas and in the South. Um, I'm just going to speak broadly. When you grew up in the South, you start to learn about pollution and climate change and things like that. Um, you start talking to people, and people are like, "No, that's not true. I don't care. The food ain't poison. Nothing wrong with the food." And they actually get mad at you. You kind of start to hate people. You start to hate society, which I don't hate. I've lost all faith in humanity. I saw faith in society, which is let me be clear. Which is not to say I want to hurt society. It is to say that things are gonna keep getting worse and worse. We're in a long emergency, and nothing's gonna change. And it's like I look at society the way you look at a junkie, where it's like, can't you see the drugs are ruining your life? You don't want to hurt him. You don't want to hurt him. It's the opposite. But you do realize that this person is damaged and that they're a danger to everybody. Junkies are a danger to everybody because they don't care. They're not like me and you. They're not thinking clear. And I see society. So you start learning about politics and things like that. But then you start learning that a lot of people that you live and work around, they don't care about these things. And in fact, they actually like this burnt plastic society. So I call it burnt plastic, where the money's of no value and the food is all shit, and they don't care. They don't care. And of course, that's where when I started learning that, that's why I went into the survivalist thing of understanding that, hey, this is gonna get worse. I never thought you'd see ice storms across the South. I never thought you'd see a major pandemic. I never thought you'd see these things. I never thought things would happen in my lifetime. But I will say that I knew that if we're not going to do anything about these things, you better batten down the hatches, wherever you are. You start learning these things, start learning about society. Society doesn't care about these things. And you realize nothing can be done. You see, when I was younger, I thought it was all about the elite. I thought it was about, the rich white shoe boys and all that. That's not really it. It's not really it. It's part of it. But if people don't want society to be better and they don't want change to take place, it won't. Nothing's going to change. And, that's something that I could say about being an adult is that I mind my business. I don't spend my time trying to be nosy and things like that. I'm focused on bettering myself and learning more about the environment around me. A lot of folks don't. And the reality of that is, well, you're going to get stronger storms. You're going to get more floods and all that. And these bumpkins are going to continue to, deny. And this is the future of our reality. And you're going to have bumpkins after this ice storm say, oh, well, yeah, they say climate change, it's not global warming, isn't it? It's really frustrating. But it's one of the reasons I moved up here is understanding that I don't think like these Southerners. That basically I knew the South. The South has already been made. That you're living in a world that was made 100 years ago, and for the South, not a whole lot has changed, and that's the way people want it. And that the buildings and everything is pretty much made. There's nothing. It's like a video game. It's like one of those old video games where like everything's made. You can't affect it. You're just playing the game, and that's how I feel about the South. Just just go and have a bunch of kids and find a place in the world already made. And here it's not like that. I think much of the rest of the country is not like that. But the South is. When I say it in the past, that's what I really mean is they are literally, they're not going anywhere. And people don't want to go anywhere. So, Yeah, so I don't feel bad for folks in the South. I don't feel bad for them in this storm, not at all, because I understand that nothing's going to change. You got to have that mindset if you're on the left. I don't like this hysterical leftism. I don't like it. I don't like it. That it's all hysterics and I'm scared of guns. I don't like that. We've got to be materialistic and we've got to be tangible. We've got to have an understanding of the process in the world we live in. And it can't be all about, I'm scared. It's got to be real. And the left doesn't do that. Unfortunately, it's, Trump's tweets and, crap like that. It doesn't mean a whole lot. Like I said, I don't feel anything for those people. I don't care. And I wouldn't waste any time caring about those people. Those people don't believe in climate change. They don't believe in what we're talking about. They don't want to hear it. Some of those people, they get very angry when you discuss these matters. So, hey, I'm done with it. I'm done, bro. I mean, I got to go back to the South. I got some stuff in the storage unit. And I haven't really had any spare time to do that. I'd probably take like a week. Take like a week off. Because I would, drive down there. That's about a day's drive. And then, drive back. And then, take about a half a day to unload everything. And then take so it take me about 3 days, which I would just say take a work week off. But I'm hesitating. Even before the storm, I'm hesitating because to me, living in the South was such a soul-sucking existence. I mean, it was. It's just. I used to tell people all the time. I used to say this all the time that living in the South, it's just a very repressive place. Very repressive. It's funny because I used to travel. I was over the road, come home, and people would talk about me being scared. Would I ever be scared on the road? And it's like, no. And I realized now what that was is they like that. That's why I say to you, the idea of black people taking over, Mexicans taking over, is not necessarily a good thing in my mind. I don't see it as just no, it's not it. Because a lot of black folks are very conservative, very homophobic, very, all those things. It's the idea that just a bunch of black people makes things better. No. I would say that white people are fighting for something different that needs to end. I'd say that white boycotts are a part of the long march towards human betterment. I would say that. I would definitely say that. But just a much more black people and brown people walking around does not mean the world becomes better. The South is a great example of that. And I think they're going to be very careful about that because they can always co-opt a couple of Negroes. They can co-opt some Negroes and put them in there, and black folks will be like, oh, well, I'm going to look at my black president. And I just, the South is a very regressive place. It can't be fixed. And what's worse is it's actually kind of dangerous because if you ever try to do anything, they'll get very violent. I mean, the South is a place where people are fighting to remain in the past in every way. In every way. If you're not looking to have 20 kids, don't move to the South. I meet people up here, and I don't understand why. Unless you want to have 20 kids or something, and other than that, no benefit. Thanks for listening.